Welcome to season 2 of I Say Yes And, the podcast where we dive into the possibilities of going beyond the yes and into the action of life. I'm your host, Alycia Larson. I'm a grief healer, author, and public speaker. Let's dive into today's episode. Hello, welcome back. I want to take today's conversation and increase it a little bit. Today we're talking about gratitude. And so many people have talked about gratitude. There's gratitude journals, there's gratitude books, there's 30 days of gratitude programs. There's so many things about gratitude, and those are all so beautiful and lovely. If that is something that, as I said it, sparked an interest in you, I highly recommend you go to your little Google and you find what is radiating for you. But I want to share something that actually my mentor channeled for me, but it's so beautiful and ooey gooey yummy that I want to share it with you as well. And this is to start a practice of acknowledging your gratitude for living. Now, gratitude for living, that's kind of with the same line of what we're talking about. You know, people journal and will write 5 things they're grateful for that day, etc. How this is slightly different is the power and the frequency that surrounds acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is one of the greatest energy shifting tools that we have at our disposal to allow us to increase things in beautiful ways. When we allow ourselves to acknowledge, we are allowing ourselves to step forward in such a beautiful way. And it may not make sense, it may not feel different to you, but if you start to allow yourself to create this practice of acknowledging gratitude for anything, it will create a shift in your life that you are needing and wanting in such a beautiful way. So here's my recommendation. This is how I'm doing it, but do it how you feel best. So when I wake up in the morning, I wake up in a beautiful flow of my life. I am in a point of my life where I luckily do not need to set an alarm. I wake up naturally early in the morning and I allow myself to ease and flow my way into my day. The only times I set an alarm is if I have a really early morning appointment or flight. And usually I'm awake before my alarm goes off. But I set those safety nets for myself so that I don't have to worry about rushing and that anxiousness, because my body doesn't enjoy that. So, in the morning when you're waking up, maybe even before you are out of bed, allow yourself to take some deep breaths so that you're grounding into your day, into your home, into your bed. And then simply say, I acknowledge that I am grateful to be alive, to be living here today, to be experiencing this life in such a beautiful way. And then acknowledge how it feels when you've said that. I acknowledge that it feels good to feel grateful this morning, and I acknowledge the peace that my body is feeling. And I acknowledge that I feel calm as I'm starting my day. Whatever it may be, maybe your acknowledgement brought in something that you're not loving, like anxiety. So you can simply say, I acknowledge that saying that brought a feeling of anxiety, and I acknowledge that anxiety is coming from my body is feeling it in this way. I acknowledge that I don't need to feel that way, and allow yourself to riff and walk through it to the point where you're able to release that anxiety. And then as you continue to do this practice, as you start your day in this powerful next level of gratitude, you'll feel that shift in such a beautiful way. So, today's episode is easy peasy lemon squeezy. We're just going to allow ourselves to acknowledge our gratitude for living. And you can expel this in so many different ways, and you can go off on it. Like, I acknowledge that I have beautiful friends that are surrounding me. I acknowledge that my family loves me. I acknowledge that I am grateful for the beautiful friends around me. I acknowledge that abundance flows to me so easily, and I'm so grateful for that. So you can allow yourself to flow with that acknowledgement, and you don't have to be strict about your script. So many of the rules around life, around manifesting or anything like that, in my opinion, things were created in a way because it worked for someone. So then you need to replicate it exactly. But it doesn't always feel true and beautiful in that way. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you are going to start this practice of acknowledging that you are grateful to be alive and what that feels like. If you're interested at all in any one-on-one coaching and healing sessions with me, I have an application. It's just a simple and beautiful questionnaire so that we know that we are aligned to work together in this beautiful way and play in each other's world. And then I can get you started if the answer is yes for you and the answer is yes for me. Until next time, have a blessed day. Thank you for joining me on this episode of I Say Yes and with Alycia Larson. I hope you feel empowered and inspired as you move through your day. Make sure to check out my show notes for my links so that you can continue to play in my world. Until next time, keep saying yes to yourself, yes to your dreams, and yes to the power within you. Stay magical and keep shining your light.